All right, so I am going to attempt an espresso double chocolate chip sourdough loaf and a raspberry chocolate chip sourdough loaf. I'm actually going to do 2 of each, and then I'm also making 2 plain. So do this with me because I'm learning. This is my first time. So this says 300 grams, 3 to 325 grams of warm water or coffee. So what I'm going to do is I got some espresso powder off of Amazon. So it's going to be super coffee flavored. So the first 300 grams of water, I'm going to make the espresso with. So I'm going to stick this in the microwave and get it warm. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to start the mixing process. So it'll be 200 grams of active starter. My starter is nice and active and bubbly. And that's about it there. All right, so we're going with about a tablespoon and a half of the espresso powder. So I'm going to put this in the warm water and let it dissolve. Now, the nice thing about using espresso or any kind of a coffee base when you're doing chocolate is it really brings out the flavor of the chocolate. It gives it an even deeper chocolate flavor. So I'm excited about this one. And a storm is starting, so if my power goes out, it's going to go dark, but we will go as long as we can here. It says 50 grams of brown sugar or 40 grams of honey. I'm going to use honey. So 40, so we're going to do 80 grams altogether. There we go. Okay, we're going to do another 300. I'm going to do 325 grams. Oh my gosh, I just messed that up. That's okay. So I need 380. Okay. Of water. I just messed it up. That's okay. It's fine. It'll be fine. And then I'm going to add my espresso. Hopefully it's not too hot. Because if you do go in too hot with water, it will kill the yeast. So we're just going to hope that it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. So we're going to stir this up, let it get nice and milky. Let that starter all dissolve in the water. And then we're going to add the cocoa powder, flour, and the salt. And then we're going to mix it into that shaggy dough. And then we're going to add the cocoa powder and the salt on top of that. I also did get a Dutch cocoa powder off of Amazon. And then we're going to do 18 grams of salt. All right, now we're going to mix all this together. I'm going to add a little more water because this is a little dry. All mixed into a shaggy dough. Now we're going to let it sit for an hour. So I'm going to take my basic recipe. So since I'm doing a double loaf, I'm going to do 200 grams of a organic raspberry powder, from freeze-dried raspberries. So I didn't necessarily mean to get powder, but I wanted the crumbles, but that's okay. It'll still give it a really nice raspberry flavor. So we're going to do 50 grams of the raspberry powder. Look how pretty and pink that is. Okay, so again, we're going to cover this up, let it sit for an hour, and let the flour, make sure we got the flour nice and moist all the way through. Now we're going to just do our plain loaves. I've got my mic on, so you guys probably can't hear all the thunder going on outside. In typical Midwest style, we've got tornado warning going on. Dangerous wind warning. We're making bread. Now we're going to stir that up. So I got 200 grams of active starter, 700 grams of water. This is just my regular basic recipe. Get that all nice and milky. We're going to do 1,000 grams of flour. And then 20 grams of sea salt. And stir it up. I tend to use my Danish dough whisk until I feel like I can't really do much anymore. It gets just too thick. So then I just clean this off and then use my fingers or my plastic scraper. I had lightning almost hit me on the way home, pulling into the court, and cover going on bowl number 3, again to sit for an hour. And then when I do my stretch and folds, I will add the chocolate chips into the espresso loaf and the raspberry loaf. So I will show you that when we get there. I'll see you in an hour. All right, so it's been an hour. So now that the flour has had a chance to completely soak in all of that water, we're going to start doing stretch and folds. So I'm going to also start, so the first stretch and fold I'm going to do, I'm not going to add the chocolate chips in yet. I'm going to wait till the second stretch and fold. So I usually get my hand wet. It keeps the dough from sticking quite so much. So you just pull it up, fold it over on each side of the bowl. So pull up, fold over, quarter of a turn. Pull over. There we go. It's already starting to get some shape to it. And then you're going to cover it back up and you're going to let it sit for half an hour. We're going to do the same thing to the raspberry. So fold it over, pull up, fold it over, turn your bowl, turn your number 2. And now the plain. Fold over, turn it a quarter of a turn, pull up, turn. That's the plain. That's number 3. And in 30 minutes, we will be back to do it again. Okay, so stretch and fold number 2. Now here's where you can do either stretch and folds or coil folds. So coil folds are going to be, you just take your hands, you go on each side, and you just pull up from the middle and fold it over on top of itself. And you turn it and do the other side. Fold it. And then you just keep doing that a few times. And this is my plain. Now we're going to work on the inclusion loaves. We're just going to add these here. We're going to add about half of them to this stretch and fold. And then we'll do the other half on the next stretch and fold. That way we get a good even amount throughout the loaf. All right, there's the chocolate. All right, so these are going to sit for another half an hour, and then we will do a third set of stretch and folds. So I'm not going to film all of that, but I am going to tell you that I will do another set of stretch and folds in 30 minutes. Add the rest of the chocolate chips to both of those. Do another set of stretch and folds before they sit to bulk ferment. They will bulk ferment overnight. They will likely be ready by morning because it is warm and humid out. So that usually means that it doesn't take near as long to bulk ferment. So I will see you tomorrow when I go to shape them and put them in the refrigerator for their cold retard.